If you're new to my YouTube channel, please click that subscribe button and remember to click the bell icon to get notifications of all my uploads throughout the week. Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So it's mid-month mini mission inspiration time, and for February the word is key, and we have used to unlock something of great importance, a book, a pamphlet or other text containing a solution to a problem. So I know this one has had a few people scratching their heads, but for me it was really easy because all I did was went onto Google and typed in quotes that include the word key, and I found this really cute one. So belief is the magic key that unlocks your dreams. Perfect. And then I remembered I had a photograph in my collection on my computer that featured a little fairy either feeding or tickling a mouse under his chin, but notice the mouse has also got little fairy wings on as well. So I wonder if the mouse is dreaming about being able to fly. So I thought that would be a really cute way to do an art journal page, so that's what I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick both of these down into my art journal page, just using, I think, the last remnants of matte medium that I've got in this tube. Nearly empty. I have got a new one, but waste not, want not, and all that. Just see if I can get the last bits out. I don't want to throw it everywhere like I did last time, all over my trousers. Not a pretty sight, I can tell you that. I think that's pretty much everything out of there now. So I can now consign that to the WPB file, the waste paper basket file. So just quickly add some glue down on there, and then we can stick that down. I'm going to put it in just as a slight angle, and then just run over the top with that matte medium. And then I can do the same with this image. Hopefully there will be enough. And I'm just going to stick that down again, just slightly at a bit of a skew width angle. I printed this using my Epson printer, which has the Durabright ink, which means it's permanent. What have I got? Oh, I've got a new tub here of, let's see whether that's going to give me enough flexibility. That's better. Let me get in there. Yes, so the Durabright ink is it's permanent, unlike most inkjet printers. I think I have mentioned it before, so I do apologise if I'm boring you. But there you go, that just goes to show that the ink hasn't moved, and you've seen how wet I've got it. Okay, let's drop that in some water, and then let's get that dried off. I'm just flattening that down with the back of my hand. Mr. Bentley barking downstairs. I think that should do it. Just going to let that cool down for a minute or two, and then I'll be right back. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go replenish my coffee. Okay, so that is now dry, and there are virtually no bumps or wrinkles. A little bit at the top, but I'm not too bothered about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building up some colour. Now I've got some old Tim Holtz Distress paints here. These are the ones with the dauber tops. I haven't used them for absolutely ages, so they're probably going to need a lot of shaking and mixing up before I start adding paint on. but let's see if I can coax it to come out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start integrating the paint into the background and try and disguise the fact that it's a piece of paper in there just by adding in some of those colours, and I bring it across. I've also got a baby wipe so that when I put some paint down here I can just stain the background. So most of that's come off now. Perhaps I didn't put enough on. That's more like it. So we can read it, but it still leaves some of the colour on that I can then build up, and then I can start just taking it off because that's shiny a bit, just so you can read those words, but then start building the colour up around. Just disguise it. So I've got, like I said, half a dozen different colours. Nearly lost the top off that one then. We'll just get them to work and then we can mottle the colours all the way around. Just build up the colour that way. And then just bring in some darkers. I've got some black down here as well. Give that a really good shake. It's quite wet, so I want that one to be a bit darker down there at the bottom, because that's where the picture kind of fades away. But I don't mind blending these together, getting in some green around there as well, because it will work its way out. And we'll just start mottling it with that baby wipe. Don't take too much away. And then I've also got some walnut stain, gathered twigs. Now the walnut stain is a nice browny colour, but there is touches of green in there as well. So if you wanted to add a few kind of darker elements into there, just to help it blend a bit, and that's the way we can do it. So what I'm going to do is, this may take me a while to go around and blend all the bits in that I want to do, especially trying to get it down here. I don't want to hide the mouse. So I'm going to, where's it gone? That's the gathered twigs, there's the walnut stain. And it's difficult to show you in this light because it's shining and reflecting. Keep working my way around it. Adding in the greens just to kind of blend, soften it all out. And that will hide the edges of the paper, I'm hoping, anyway. right in as far as I dare up to the wings. And then adding in just some darker tones just to break it up. Kind of makes it a little bit like woodland. So I'm going to go off. I need a protector underneath there, I think. Let's see what I've got. That'll do. I don't want to transfer any of the paint onto the previous pages. So I can then go around adding in a lot of that paint over this side. Still got my baby wipe. Use the finger. If I think I've put too much paint on, I can just lightly lift it off. Because we've got that matte medium on there, it is protecting it a little bit. Okay, so I'm conscious that this is possibly going to be kind of a boring process for you to sit and watch. So I'm going to probably put some music on and then just speed through this. Okay, so that's pretty much dry now. Now, some of that acrylic paint has dried with a kind of a shine to it, which I'm not particularly enamoured with. And it also means that my pages probably will stick together as well. So I'm probably going to have to go over the entire thing with some clear gesso, to knock that shine back a bit and to stop the pages from sticking together. But although I've got that nice kind of camouflagey, mottled, organic, greeny browny woodlandy kind of effect in the background, I'm not totally enamoured with it. So what I've got is I have this I think foliage stencil from Tim Holtz, and I'm going to add a little bit of paint through the stencil, just in some lighter tones. Now I'm not going to use the dabber directly through the stencil because I think it's going to be a bit too heavy. So instead I've got a cosmetic sponge and I'm just going to load up, and I'm just going to gently put in some shapes in the background that are going to kind of camouflage some of that background and transition areas, and just help to give it a little bit of texture in the background. I'm not saying it's going to eliminate all of it, but it will help. And I'm going to try and get it so it goes across the page middle. So if I'm very, very careful, like that. See? Happy. I'm happy. I'm just going to try and bring in that kind of acorny oak leaf. It just helps to lift the background and disguise it a little bit better. I'll do the same thing over here. See those leaves just help to bring it in. Maybe use that one up here as well, just in that corner. I'm trying not to use too much paint, but you see what I'm trying to build up. Turn that stencil around. So we have different kind of shapes. Just a bit more of that paint down. Looking good. Something missing up there. So let's just have another bit of leaf showing there. And if I go just quite lightly, it'll just help to break it up. There we go. I deliberately left that bit down there because I want to bring in some of that darker green and then go around again. Now I'm going to use the same stencil, probably the same leaf, just there. Pick up some of that paint and then just dab it through. These little holes in the stencil also just make it a bit better, just helps to break it all up. So you can find where you have some of those almost the equivalent of adding like bubble wrap and stuff on it, which I probably will end up doing as well. I'm just trying to think, is there anywhere else we could do with just bringing some of that colour there, just on that edge. Just a little bit there. Okay, so starting to look pretty nice. Now, I want to use some of the darker brown. So we've got walnut stain. So I can now, once again, using the same stencil, I'm not even going to clean the sponge. I'm just going to load that sponge up and then I'm going to go back round again, just adding in just a couple, just very lightly, depending on which way the light drops on it. Depends whether you're actually going to see it or not. Just to kind of break it up a tad. just so it looks like the leaves are overlaying each other, but I'm quite happy with that. Don't want to do too much. Love it. Okay, so I'll put that stencil to one side. I'll get this cleaned up on my craft mat, which won't take long, and then I'm going to add some little white splatters just because I can. So all cleaned up, all dry. I'm just going to bring in a little bit of white paint. I've got some Dean & Wakely Media white. Just a small amount is enough to do what I want to do. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit on my glass cutting mat. And I have some clean water. And I've got, I trapped myself to a brand new fan brush. So let's mix up that water into the paint, and then we can start to add some magical dusty motes into the air, just to kind of give it a little bit of a ethereal kind of look. Just very subtle, not too heavy. If I've got any on my little mouse or fairy, I'm just going to just rub them slightly with my finger and they will come off. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I think I'm going to call that a day. Don't think I want to add any more to that page. So I'm just going to quickly dry it off. Okay, so the white splatters are now dry and they've just died back a little bit. So, and I think I'm very, very happy with the way that page has turned out. So all I need to do now is just to sign it and date it. Whatever date it is in February. 20th today? Yes, I think it is. There we go. And then I'm going to call this page done. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, without whose generosity and support these videos would not be possible. Thank you.